What does every INFJ need more of? What would you choose? Stick around for today's show because we're going to talk about 3 things that every INFJ could use more of. In the past couple months, I've been doing a lot of reflecting. My wife is pregnant with our second child and her life is about to change significantly. I love my family and I love our son. He's awesome, but I know that things are going to be different. So I've been reflecting quite a bit on priorities and the direction of what I'm doing. And doing so has given me pause to reflect on some very important things in life. And I'm fresh off a conversation with a co-host of the Introvert Dear podcast, Jen Graneman, and I'm just really inspired to share 3 things that I think every INFJ could really use more of. And one of those things that I really took away from this summer is rest. You know, it's so easy as an INFJ to get caught up in wanting to accomplish goals and reach certain levels of success or to find your meaning in the work that you do. But I think that's a slippery slope because you can pour all of your hours, all your time, all your energy into a goal that can ultimately leave you drained. And it's kind of a catch-22 as well. I was listening to a pretty well-known personality talking about how you can be the most productive and creative. And he was saying that if you want to be efficient, you might get inside your email inbox and try to tackle as many emails as you possibly can. But if you want to be productive and effective, the best thing to do might be to go for a walk and get some rest and reflect and think. So it's a big deal to think about what's most important and take time to pause and reflect. And add to that the idea that we were never made to just go, 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 go. We need time to rest and reflect. I think especially as INFJs, we need extra rest. I used to always compare myself to an ESTJ friend and just wonder how he could run on 5 or 6 hours of sleep. In fact, I don't know if I've really met an ESTJ who doesn't run on 5 or 6 hours of sleep because there's so many tasks they want to accomplish. But being extroverts, they tend to do well in that role, but I just don't function that way. And I think it's true of a lot of us as INFJs that we're pulling in a lot of stimuli. And since we're not charged up by the outside world, since we're drained by it, we need that time alone. So rest might look like getting some extra sleep at night more than other people around you. It might look like taking some time to read fiction. If you're really a nonfiction reader like I am, you might just want to read a good story that's interesting to you or watch a movie. It might be learning a new instrument or just playing the one that you have, going for a walk, doing something that's new or novel, or just taking some time with loved ones and friends and saying no to the goals on your to-do list. But I think rest as INFJs is something we need to keep in mind because we can get sucked into meeting everybody's needs or finding our identity in the work we do or in the goals we want to achieve. But it's so important to remember that we need to stop and give our bodies rest, our minds, our souls rest in order to be the most productive and effective people we can be. The second thing that's really impacted me, for another time around, because this impacted me before, is that you and I need community. And that might give you some pushback at first internally when you think about that, because, hey, we're INFJs, we like time to ourselves. And that is absolutely 100% true. And I think it's important. And in our crazy culture, where we're often called to do, and be out there more and engaged in more and more active, we often feel the opposite, that no, we probably need more time alone. But I think what we need in our day and age is more real community. We're surrounded by social media and internet culture, which I think is really valuable, and we should get connected to it. It's a great opportunity, for example, to meet other INFJs and to connect to people who you can relate with on a deep level. So it's a wonderful thing, but we still have that need for deep, real connection, real in-person connection. I mean, it can be over the phone too, but there's something about just spending time with a friend who knows you well, or with family members that you appreciate, or with a loved one, or even, a child that you have, which would be another family member, whoever it may be. It's important that we connect on a deep level. And I think that takes some intentionality where we have to say no to a lot of other things to make space for that. And again, this may tie into number 1, where you're trying to achieve lots of things, but you need to just say no to that so you can spend time with other people. And more specifically, I've been influenced or impacted lately to think that time with a group of people, a big community is important, as well as times with other people with whom I'm really close. I need to hear from friends that I'm close with, but I also need to be accountable to a big group and to participate in that. And that's the contradiction of our personality. We do enjoy being with people, and even with a large group of people, some of us, I would say, not everybody, not every INFJ, but we do enjoy being part of a community. But then we will maybe pull back after times of extroversion and just go, radio silent, or almost to the point of cabin fever. For a couple of weeks at a time, we may not talk to people. But even though that might be our temptation, it's really important to stay connected to others. So for me, that means connecting to people at my church and being part of the Sunday school class I'm in. I have really appreciated that group of people. And even when I don't feel like it, it's often the times when I don't feel like going that I appreciate it most deeply and that it's most important to me. So I don't know if that's the group where you're going to connect. It might be different for you, but I think just staying connected to others is important. And I keep being reminded of this time and time again. And it's the times when I don't feel like it that I probably need it most. So I still have a calendar that reminds me to text certain people on certain days of the week. And I don't always follow through, but it's super helpful because I just need to continue to touch base with those friends who have been friends for a while. And I need to keep showing up to those groups of people that I said I'd connect with, whether it's over a sport or if it's, again, at church or wherever at school. I need to be a part of those communities, even as an introvert. And it doesn't mean I have to be out all the time, but I think committing to community is really important because, especially as someone who really appreciates perspectives, we need to hear from other people and hear about the way they see things, because we're not going to understand the world fully until we can see it through their eyes. Finally, number 3, never stop learning. As an intuitive personality type, it's so important that you continue to conquer and learn new skills, that you continue to challenge yourself. I've seen this at work. I have a podcast where I work as a teacher, and I've interviewed some other intuitive types, and each and every one of them, after a couple of years, has moved to a new position where they've tried to learn a new skill, whether it's becoming a yoga instructor or maybe working as a principal or being a supervisor or doing a different grade level. I know that's just the world of education, but I've heard that from so many intuitive types, and INFJs are no exception. We need to infuse our work with some kind of creativity, some way we can keep learning, because when the learning stops, we get bored, we get complacent, and we lose our zest and flair for life. So any way you can infuse some extra learning in life can be awesome, whether it's just reading a personal growth book, or whether it's setting a new goal for yourself, or if it's just picking up the ukulele like I did from the library this week to learn a new instrument, or practicing that old instrument and writing a new song. Whatever you can do to infuse your life with learning or trying something new, that can be really helpful. Lately at work, I've been co-teaching with a teacher that I avoided in the past just because she thought differently than I did, and I had a hard time connecting. But I've learned so much from her lately. She's been coming to my classroom, we've been co-teaching, and just spending that time together has given me some great ideas, some new perspectives, and I'm excited about what's happening with the kids. I have a mentor who is an ESTJ, and he thinks very differently than me, but we share the same values and connect on a deep level. And I really appreciate what he pours into my life. He recently encouraged me to listen to the BBC World News because I'm not that good at listening to news, and I know I need to get better at that. And it's been great. There's so much to be learned from other people, and even just from connecting with others in that way, you can continue to push new ideas and into your life and help yourself grow and learn and try new things. So I super encourage you to look for ways that you can continue to grow. And if you have the opportunity in the work you do, it might even be good to try moving to a new position. A lot of people that I've interviewed on the podcast that I run at my school say they have tried a bunch of different careers, especially the intuitive types, I should say that in particular. They've been counselors, they've been career advisors, they've been school psychologists, they've been principals, they've been emotional support teachers. They've done all kinds of things just to continue to challenge themselves. And we as INFJs are no exception because we're intuitive types too. So when you can mix it up and give yourself a new challenge, give yourself a mountain to climb, you're probably going to be a happier camper because you need to see yourself growing and changing, especially as a person who appreciates transformation in others and in yourself. If you'd like to learn more about your INFJ personality type, I'd love to give you a free copy of my book, The INFJ Personality Guide. In it, you'll learn about the mindsets and motivations that cause you to do what you do. And you'll also learn about some common INFJ challenges, as well as some solutions to those challenges. I wrote the book to help you understand you're not messed up or broken, but just different, and the world needs the gifts you have to offer. You can get the book one of two ways. First, text the letters INFJ to the number 444999. Or you can visit ispeakpeople.com/INFJ-personality-guide, and you can find that link in the description below this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found these ideas helpful and encouraging. That's what the show is all about, helping you grow, encouraging you to be yourself and to use your awesome gifts. Looking forward to bringing you more shows in the near future. I hope you have an awesome week. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing to the channel. If this is your first time watching, then I would encourage you to hit that big red subscribe button. See you on the next show.